Under lunchtime, welcome back, and there is no doubt that COVID-19 is forcing media to think differently. For many, it has become something of a survival game. Two developments in recent weeks. The highly successful News24 website is going behind a paywall for some of its content. And the Daily Maverick is going the newspaper route and is launching a new in-store title soon. Adrian Basson is the editor-in-chief of News24, along with Stili Charalambous, who is the publisher of the Daily Maverick. Adrian, I'm going to start with you. It's an interesting decision that you've made. Has this been forced on you by COVID-19?
Good afternoon, Jeremy. No, we've been talking about a subscription service for the better part of 2 years now. Obviously, it's a massive decision for a website like News24 that has got around 12, 13 million unique users per month. That's been used to getting their news for free for almost close to 22 years. So this was not a decision we could take lightly, but we've been planning for it intensely for 1 to 2 years. And the past few months has just confirmed our decision with the effects of COVID and what we have seen happening with international publishers in the space.
Now, Adrian, apart from your column, what is behind the wall and what isn't?
It's definitely not just my column, Jeremy. What we have seen is that internationally, the freemium model seems to work best for a website like ours. So that is where you have a lot of breaking fast news that's still free, as it will remain on News24 as well. And then in addition to that, the more in-depth stuff. So our investigative journalism, our opinion section, our analysis, our sports business content that also goes deeper than breaking news in those fields. So it is for discerning readers who want to read a bit more, want to understand better, want to understand deeper content to navigate their way through life.
Adrian, I'm going to get back to you in a minute, but let me pull Stili Charalambous, publisher of the Daily Maverick, into this conversation. Stili, good afternoon to you. I read this, and then I read it again, and then I read it a third time, because it goes against all conventional wisdom. This is a time when many newspapers the world over are closing, and I would say to you that the people at the Daily Maverick maybe need their heads read.
Yeah, Jeremy, it wouldn't be the first time people have asked for that to happen. But, if we've been anything, it hasn't been conformist in the decade and a half that we've been around. We've looked at the trends, we've looked at the research, and we, looked at, especially at those publications and titles that have struggled and have closed in the last couple of months. And we think we're different. We've always considered ourselves different, but mostly because, we're not a monthly title that's trying to establish itself in the daily space. We've already done that. We've done the hard yards in the digital media space, which is probably the hardest of all the channels to make it work and to sustain itself. And so after a decade and a half of doing that, we think we can better serve our readers by bringing out a weekly publication.
It's a weekly publication which is a regurgitation of what we've seen on the website, or will there be fresh content?
It's going to be a combination of the best of articles that have been published already, but enhanced with additional visual journalism that have been edited specifically for the print format. We found that even the most loyal of our readers barely get to 2-3% of what we put out in a normal week. So the service is also about curating the most important items that people need to know about the week, as well as new investigations, new analysis, features, and opinions and op-eds from some of South Africa's best thinkers.
How does the business model work?
So it's going to be an ad-supported model. We've always prided ourselves on trying to make our journalism as accessible to as many people as possible. So we've teamed up with Pick n Pay to make it free to Smart Shopper card holders. And with their audience, with their members and our members, we're hoping that we can get to a critical circulation number quite quickly, and also making quality journalism accessible to more people as we grow into new readership audiences.
What, in your opinion, is a critical circulation in order to make this work?
So we're starting out at hoping to get 25,000 circulation number off the bat. That would put us ahead of some of South Africa's dailies that have been around for decades. And so we feel that that's a great starting point for us to work off. And then as the reader demand and as the advertiser support comes in, we'll be able to grow along with the national footprint of Pick n Pay and other stores who want to work with us.
Adrian Besson, I know you're listening, or at least I hope you're listening to that. This is a gutsy decision that the Daily Maverick has taken, isn't it?
Yes, it is an interesting decision, and I mean, as Tilly says, they have always taken interesting decisions, and it's something that we will look at with interest. You know, Media24, of course, still has a number of newspapers in the market, but like with the global trend, newspaper circulation has been going down as people move online. So you know, I think it's wonderful, Jeremy, that news publishers in South Africa, publishers are trying new things. I think we all do this for the same reason, and that is to strengthen journalism because of the importance of journalism in a time like this, in a time of global crisis, in a time when democratic freedoms are under threat with corruption, rampant corruption, as we've seen over the past few weeks. And the more journalists, you know, the more publications, the better for all of us.
And I certainly endorse those sentiments. Now more than ever has been a time when truth is absolutely critical. Adrian, as far as going behind a paywall is concerned, it is inevitable, surely, that you are going to lose some traffic, because payment for media is now a real economic choice for many of your readers who possibly have other priorities.
That is possible, Jeremy, and you know, I fully accept that there are some South Africans who cannot pay for news, but I do think that, you know, the model we've chosen, where we still have the majority of our breaking news for free, allows for people to still at least read the critical news they need, you know, the critical breaking news around COVID infections or around political announcements, etc. It is really, you know, the crop of readers who want more investigative journalism, more in-depth content, analysis and explainers, that we hope to pay our 75 Rand a month. And just to add as well, we have also given for that one price, and I think that's what makes our offer so attractive, is it's really a simple offer. It's 75 Rand for access to this content, plus content from all our printed colleagues on the English side. So that includes City Press newspaper on a Sunday, and our magazines, You, True Love, and Drum. So that is all packaged for 75 Rand a month. We think it's a reasonable price. I think if you break it down, it comes to R2.50 a day. And we hope that there's enough people who feel as strongly as we do about journalism that will invest this, I think, you know, pretty humble amount into News24 for subscribers.
Steli Kharalambos, how has the Daily Maverick managed to resist going behind a paywall?
You know, we also felt that, you know, we needed to turn to readers in some form a couple of years ago, and we looked at the various models that were available to us, and we found the membership model was something that resonated with, you know, our vision and our principles. And so we have gone to our readers, but we've made it completely voluntary, which is a slightly different way of approaching it, approaching the same problem. But it does take, it takes quite a lot of community building. It takes a lot of effort. It's obviously a harder sell because you don't have that repetitive hitting of the paywall to help as your trigger event to get people over the line. So over the last 2 years, we've embarked on that, and we've been incredibly thankful and grateful for the support that our readers have shown us.
To both of you, thank you very much indeed. Adrian Besson, the editor-in-chief of News24, Steli Kharalambos, who is the publisher of the Daily Maverick.